Okay, so this demo is going to be focusing on how to use the effects and presets to animate with. So we've talked about how to do parent-child hinge relationship with the arms. We talked about animating, uh, setting up a mask with the eyes and animating the pupils. We talked about using the puppet tool to deform the tail and get that movement. And then we talked about, again, using masks and blending modes to get this sort of effect of the tail. So again, these are all different methods that you could mix and match as you want. I'm just giving you examples of each one to sort of demonstrate all these concepts. So the effect and preset we're going to use to get the tail to kind of sway back and forth is one called Bend It. Um, so you look up bend, you see Bend It and Bender. I don't know the difference between the two. Bend It is the one we want for this specific effect. So if you take Bend It and drag it down onto your fin, it's then going to bring up your effects control panel up here in the upper left. So you'll first notice that it looks pretty funky. That is because we need to do some maintenance to kind of get it set up before we can start uh, moving it. So we have a start and an end position. So my end position is, let me see, this guy here. So we're going to put this at the tip of my fin, and we're going to put this at the beginning of my fin right here. So now it's oriented correctly. And then with the bend, I'm just going to sort of see how it's working. So obviously I've done this backwards. I want to put the start where the end is and the end where the start is. The other thing is that it's sort of clipping in and out of view, which is something I don't want to do. So first I'm going to fix the start and end points so that when I bend it, it is oriented correctly. There we go. That's what I want. And the next thing obviously is to fix what's going on with this clipping error. So what is happening is that if you go into this composition, if you double click, you'll see that it's actually a pretty small size, that it's basically clipping where the boundaries of the composition are. So what you need to do is you need to make the composition's areas larger so that as this deforms, it's going to have room to show without getting clipped. So if you do Command or Apple K, you'll bring up composition settings. And here what you just want to do is basically play with the dimensions. So give it enough room so that it will wiggle around correctly. You don't want to go too crazy, but you want to kind of give it breathing room so that as it deforms and bends, it's not going to get clipped off. Click OK, and if I go back here, so all of a sudden you'll go, what on earth happened? The fact that we've resized the composition kind of mucked up our beginning and end points, and now the fin is like, I don't know what is going on. So what we're going to do is we are just going to, come on my lovely fin, why aren't you coming up? Sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate. Transform, position. Okay, so it doesn't want to budge because it's going, I am parented to that pin, and I think it's because of where my rotation point is. So we're going to hold down Y. Where is my lovely? Here it is. And we're just going to kind of get it to where it is working. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. More or less, that's kind of what you want. So again, obviously there was something going on with the pivot tool that it was not happy with. So I just had to sort of adjust where that was by holding down Y. Lots of problem solving here. So now that that's fixed, I can go and say, okay, is it bending this way correctly, bending that way correctly? And I see that my starting point is way up here. So I'm just going to fix this. So what I did this purposely just to see, to kind of show you the problems that you might run into so that if you run into them, you're not completely, freaking out going, oh my God, what's happening? Where's my end point? There you are. Come right here. There we go. So now, beautiful. There's my lovely little bend. And again, if you go too extreme, you will get the clipping, but I don't intend on going that crazy with it. So what we can do, again, I want to think in terms of how I can loop this. So maybe I want this, if my tail is going up, I would want this to be an extreme here. So I'm going to keyframe, so I want to toggle the bend so that it's listening. Go keyframe my bend starting here. It's going to be dragging afterwards, and then as it reverses, it's going to reverse the bend and then come down here right there. So maybe right here. And again, if you want to go straight to, so here if you go to effects, you'll find the effect down here as well, and you can kind of go from keyframe to keyframe if you want. So that's my extreme, and then that's my extreme. So at this point it would be sort of sweeping backwards a little bit. And then again, play with sort of the position of where the bend is happening to get that sort of drag. And maybe I just want, with the demo, I think I just had her flick her tail once and then it sort of, came to a rest. So I could go to the tail and just get rid of that. Let me see, where's my puppet? Go to my mesh. And what you could do is, let me see, that is that. Where is my loop function? Did I put it here or did I put it on? You see, it's all about the hunt, where you put things. See, I don't see my loop anymore. But obviously it's looping. Up and then down. Oh, it's not looping anymore. I don't know why I thought it was. Okay, so my tail goes up and then down once, and so I want my fin to basically just gracefully follow it up. Just hit U. So she's going to start here, and I want my bend to be maybe there. So she's going to bring it up, and then as she reverses, it's then going to start following, and then she's going to sort of bring it down, and then maybe this sort of gracefully just kind of comes down like that. So something like that. And then again, this has no ease on it, so you could select it, F9 it, you got some easy ease. Once you have that working, all you would have to do is duplicate it. So you're just going to copy it and paste it. And basically, let me see if I need to repaste my expressions. Boop. Let me see. Fin 1, fin 2. Okay. I think what I need to do is go to the transform position. Okay, okay, this comp layer, yes, parented to the tail, puppet anchor, yes, that's all what we want. So is it a key of the pivot point then? I guess so. Again, I did all this before I had it working. But now, so right now there's kind of one-on-one. So what you can do is go to your effects and just, slightly offset it. So I'm going to take this and then just drag it slightly behind. And you can even just sort of, rotate it without keyframing it, just so that it's a little different. Oh yeah, that pivot point's all funky. So now it's offset just by offsetting the pivot points, but I am having some issues with this. And again, where's my... There you go. And then you could even, deal with the blending mode or make it less opaque if you wanted to sort of then differentiate it. Nope. opacity is O? No. Opacity is W. Nope, not that either. Here is opacity, and again, you can kind of, just to kind of make it look a little different. And again, if you don't quite like that offset, you could just go in and, again, just hit U to call up your So, play around with it. I'm just doing this really quickly as a demo, so it's not beautiful, but that's how you get the offset. That's how you would use the bend effect to get that deformation without using the puppet pin tool. Again, the pivots are a little funky, but you don't have to use the bend thing on the fin. You could use the bend on the tail, you could use the bend anywhere else, but you could use any effect really. But I just wanted to show you different ways of deforming things.